You are listening to Wize Move Wisdom, the podcast series brought to you by the Wize Move Society, the global movement where elders connect, share, learn, and create. In this fourth series, we focus on the wisdom of the elders, stories with a message. At its heart is a belief we hold deeply in our community that the collective wisdom of people who have truly lived is one of the most underused forces for good in the world today. Our guests aren't just sharing stories, but they are living proof of our community's core belief that the wisdom of the older generation is a force for global change, not a relic to be achieved. We strongly believe that a collective wisdom matters to the world right now, a world that is desperately calling out for change, positive change. We believe that by sharing the stories of the elders, we can contribute to a world that is more humane, more connected, more conscious, and more sustainable. A world we will be proud to leave to the next generations. My name is Ingun Bol, and I'm the founder of the Wize Move Society. Enjoy this episode of Wize Move Wisdom. So it's very excited that I'm here today with Monique van der Weijden. Uh, well, she's not a neighbor, but yes, living close to me in the Netherlands, in Amsterdam, in a beautiful boat. And maybe she's going to share more about it. But we met already a couple of years ago at a moment that also your book was published. So I hope that you are going to share more about that as well. But really excited to be here with you, Monique.
Well, thank you so much that you invited me to be here and in this podcast. I'm very, very happy to be here. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Monique. Well, we're talking about the wisdom of the elders.
Yeah.
What does that mean to you? Who are the elders?
Yes, for me, the eldest, I think that we can grow from. I think they have their life experience, and especially with the life experience, of course, with all the family trauma, with everything they met, perhaps the losses they had, perhaps you lost parents or you lost your family and had problems with the family and stuff like that. So you have life experiences. And I also think that the elders looked to their own patterns and to their own problems and transformed them. I think that's very important. And I think, of course, that they are the storytellers of life, because
Mhm.
I think that we can, of course, we can learn from concepts and stuff, but then it's only in your mind. And when you listen to a story, I always see there's like an awakening throughout the story of what happened, what happening with you. It's like if I'm reading a book like The Alchemist, or these were one of my first books. That was The Alchemist and Siddhartha, and I read this book in the beginning, of my getting more consciousness, and then I thought, that's me, and that's what I think with storytelling, that you really know somewhere that is it's you, that is that people talk about. So, and I think also like the elders are like they are the storytellers, and they go into the depth of life, and they have the wisdom of the heart. So I think that's a really nice, if you see like the whole life is like a root of 30 centimeters, and that's from the head to the heart.
Lord.
So I think that's really really nice to recognize that that's what we do our whole life, to getting in contact with the heart, and the heart is connected with soul. And soul, how do you get to know soul is and that's what I think I am in my work as a healer, that I'm a midwife in consciousness. So you
Wow.
see, yeah, you see, because we are identified with our mind, but soul talks in images. So that's the other side of your brain, and soul talks through your body. We have all these generations. That's also why I work with family constellations, We all have our cells know what happened in the past.
The
So
past, yeah.
yeah, and you can, when you get into your body, and your feelings are in your body, so the body is very important to get to know what is unconsciousness. And when you, for example, work with psychosynthesis, I also study psychosynthesis, and psychosynthesis is a positive psychology with the recognition of soul. So I work, I'm like a bridge builder between the visible and the invisible world. And you do that by the world of the images. So, when you go and talk about symbols or metaphors, that's the language of the heart. And so when you do like meditations, I work with meditation, and then the people go into their imagination, and then they see that there's a whole other world that is connected with soul. And these symbols that you get, you can go and see what is unconscious, and you get this to your consciousness. And what I see is like the people that I work with is when there are then when there all these problems are there, and if there's resistance, I think the resistance is not the way out, but you can go the way in, because there is resistance. Because there's resistance, that something is under there. And that's what I do. Like if I say I'm the midlife of consciousness, it's like I help people that they have less pain if they do it alone. And that's,
Mhm.
I think, my story, that I didn't know when, I had this transformation. It was a transformation from my ego, from control, to soul, to surrender. So
Mhm.
because I did it all by myself, I really didn't know. People around me thought I was getting crazy. I didn't know. I started to ask myself, what is the meaning of my life? I felt empty, but I didn't know that the emptiness was the hunger of the soul. Because if you work, in the people, like if you're a guide in thresholds, it's like, some people that are in their midlives, they think, well, it's terrible, I'm in my midlives, and I feel
Mhm.
terrible, but it's a transformation. So
Mhm.
you are in losing, or your marriage is not going well, it's a transformation moment. So I
Yeah.
always see, like in psychosynthesis, the founder is Asajoli, and he says, bless your obstacles, because in your obstacles you can learn where you're not living your own life. So I think that's very important to see, what are my obstacles, what are my projections. What I see in the world is your inner world, is your outer world is if you look at the outer world, you can see how it is in your inner world. So if your outer world is not going well, you can go and see, okay, what is not going well, because universe gives you everything that you need to get more in who you truly are. So that's what I think is very.
Wonderful, wonderful. If I let you talk, you're going to, you know, this with question one, the whole 30 minutes. So and the thing is, what I really like is because, I ask what are elders for you, and it's you already have shared so much about actually, yes, what that elder brings and what you bring because of the fact what you have been going through, your whole transition. Do you consider yourself as an elder?
Yes, well, I really have something like, oh my goodness, I'm an elder, so I think, oh, somebody else can tell me that if I'm an elder or not. But what I can see is that I really have a lot of life experiences. I work with the visible and the invisible world. I work with the heart. So, and I'm a grandmother of five grandchildren. So in that one, I'm an elder.
It's yeah, absolutely. The lived experience, the wisdom that you bring, the knowledge about all these different techniques. Of course, yes, bringing that together, you are an elder. So thank you for sharing that. tell us a little bit about yourself, something that made you to who you are today, and that is important for your story. And we love to hear a little bit about that little girl so many years ago.
Yes, yes. Well, this little girl is born in a family of 12 children. So
Ah,
my mother was 36 and then she had 12 children. So we were Catholic. So the priest came every year to tell her. And then she asked every year, if can't we wait to do? And then the priest say no, because in the Bible it says go and multiply. So
yes.
that's what she listened to till she was 36, and then she thought I can have 20 children. So I'm going to quit now. It's done. And I'm coming from a family with a lot of politics. So my grandfather was a mayor, and he was in politics in Holland, in the Netherlands, and my father started also the farm of my father. My grandfather first had a farm, so he started the farm. Didn't like it very much, so my oldest brother, helped with the farm. And then my father started to be a broker and was also in politics. We had 12 children. I was like a tomboy. I didn't play with dolls. I was always playing outside. My father liked horses, so he imported new force ponies from England. And so we all had a pony and a horse. We had to work very, very hard on the farm, and emotions was very, we were not supposed to cry or be angry, because my mother had these 12 children, so it was almost impossible to go and see what your feelings are. So, and then when I was 17, I did high school in Holland. I went to the United States because I wanted, one thing is seeing the world. I wanted to go all around the world to get to know cultures, and to get more acquainted with several cultures, to learn. And so I went to the United States for a year. I stayed with a family there. There I did high school. I had a beautiful year. And then in Holland, I thought I'm going to study, but because of I was in the United States, I couldn't get into this study, and I started also to be a broker. In the beginning, when I was like 19, I started to be a broker, and then after that, what was really surprising for me, I got 4 children, and by the time I was 28, it was really a surprise. I had 4 children, and I was 28 years old, and I'm married, and we lived on a farm, and my husband also had horses, and he didn't want me to work, so I was really like, I listened very well. So I stopped working, and I went and looked after his horses for several years. But when I was 30 years, at 38 years, my life changed totally, because I had a dream, and this dream changed my whole life. So what happened was, I was standing naked, and slowly my arms, my whole body was taken by the light and by love. So everything, what I was part of life and love, and there was energy. Everybody spoke telepathically with each other, and I was part of it, and it was like I was in heaven. So I woke up, and then I cried for 3 days, because I thought, this is it. This is, we have to bring heaven in on earth. So, and then everything changed, because I was not living my own life. I was doing these horses, but it was not who I really was. So I'm very happy that I all did it. So now I can say. But and then I also, what happened was, very fast after that, I walked through a glass wall of a friend. I went to I wanted to go to a toilet. My friend had a new house. She had a wall with glass, and then I was running. I was always running with my 4 children. I said, "Okay, I need to go to the toilet. Where is it?" And then bang, I walked through this
Yeah.
glass, and I came with 30 stitches on the couch. And that was the first time in my life that I was sitting on a couch. And then it started like, so it was also a gift. It was, if I see what I just told, that everything that is being terrible in your life, it's a gift. I can see after that, you can see it as a gift. And then I thought, what is the meaning of my life? Why am I here? And that was because of this dream. That was because, I was sitting on this couch. And then I wrote my whole story to a therapist, and she said, everything you write, everything is about the meaning of life. Is you're starting to connect with soul. Soul is calling you, and you have to go and see if the psychosynthesis is something for you. And then I went to the information evening, and then I knew this is it. It was 5 years of psychosynthesis. And what happened was that I went to one family constellation, and I was so sad all these years. I think that I also had like a burnout, depressed or whatever, and I didn't know where it came from. And then the first constellation was about my oldest brother, who died when he was 23 years old. He got in a car accident, and we didn't have the time to grieve, because my mother said, we go
No
on.
emotions. Yeah.
No emotions.
Yeah.
So, and then when I did this family constellation, I could see that I had this burden that I was carrying, the grief of my mother. And then after this family constellation, it was like I got so much consciousness. I saw, like, normally I saw 2 trees, and then I saw 10 trees, and I saw 5 cars, and I saw 20 cars. So it was like, something was really, what was blocked opened to me.
Opened.
And that's why I also started the family constellations. I work with the family constellations and the systemic work and the organization constellations every day. And, I work with it since 2004. And I'm always very, very, very happy, that people can open what is, what they carried as a burden from their families in everything that's happening. And it's also always in amazing, because you you get the information from the knowing field. You just get everything from what was unconscious for these people. I can stand and be a representative and make contact with this world, and then you get so much information, and there is the truth, the wisdom and the truth.
Yeah.
Within our mind, but in this bigger universal intelligence field.
Yeah. Wonderful. Yeah.
Yeah.
But you're helping, you're helping others,
Yeah.
to find this. But there was also a time in your life that you wanted to find yourself,
Yeah.
or, yeah.
Yeah. So when I tried, when I was starting trying to find myself, I thought, well, perhaps, because somebody from the psychosynthesis said, well, you have to walk the Camino, the Santiago, the Camino. And then I thought, okay, perhaps that's something for me. So I started to go with her and practice walking, and for 3 months. And after that, I went to Saint-Jean-Pied-de-Port, which is the beginning of in France before you go to over the Pyrenees. And I did 800 of kilometers to go to Santiago, and it was really a tough trip, because it was raining. There was so much wind. It was very, very heavy, and it took me about a year. So I see every time what I did was I go over myself, because I learned to work hard. We have to go and do 25 kilometers a day, and I learn more just to surrender to life and everything that's happening, and following my intuition, and that's what I also learned, of course, in the Camino, being myself, being with myself, and really enjoying with everything, and also can look back with everything, also with the abuse and sexual abuse. I can really look at it, with love. And I think that's very important for people that have so much trauma in their body, to make it conscious. And if you make it conscious, you can get it, let it go. And I think that's really the way. But there's a Dutch guy, he wrote a book, and he said, we start as a child and we are unconscious, and then we get all our patrons from 0 till 7. We are in this theta state, the frequency that we get everything in us without having a filter. Then after that, we, in our midlives, we can just say, okay, well, this is what I learned. These were my belief systems. This was my patrons. These are my conditionings. So, and now it's time. Then I'm going to leave this all to become a child again, but then a conscious child, playing around, being in the here and now, and whatever comes, it comes, not being busy with, oh, what will the world think of me, or, I'm this, I'm dumb, I'm thick, I'm, whatever. And so that you can say, okay, well, I work through it, I take the pain, I clean my body, and then you can go on and be the healer, or be the one who's an example for the people. And because all this happened to me, I came into a divorce. I know if my clients are coming, I can feel with them, because I know the whole, I know it's not the same path, but I know something of the path. They go, they of
Yeah.
course have their own path.
Yeah.
So just and especially for people also like in midlife. I have a lot of men. Right now, 70% of my clients are men. They are successful, and they see that they have their house, they have their big car, they have everything, but they feel empty. So, and that's where I help them, being a guide of thresholds.
Yeah, wonderful. Yeah. Well, you mentioned already a couple of times that you are a healer, and you know that within the Wise Move Society, after the transition more to looking into what can the elders bring, that really that experience wisdom, that experienced lived experience, I'm sorry, the wisdom, the knowledge. And we define those 5 roles. So the storyteller, the mentor, the healer, the bridge builder, and the leader. And actually, everyone has all these aspects, especially if you do become at that elder level. We have everything inside of us, but we don't know how to use all these different parts. And you're more a healer. Other one is, has different parts are more developed. Someone who's really that leader has developed more that part of him or her. Um, and I do believe that storytelling is something that connects all these different roles,
Yes,
you
yes,
know?
yes, that's right. Yeah, that's beautiful. Yeah, that's beautiful. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah,
Because also for you, having lived through
yeah,
that life,
yeah,
with trauma and all these things happening to you,
yeah,
and really being on that journey of self-discovery,
yeah,
finding your own self, who you are, being able to share these stories and to really connect with people on that level. It's not like I know and I will tell you what to do. No, you've lived it, so you know how they feel.
yeah.
And that is, yeah,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
that's,
that's also why, if you ever talk about storytelling, that's why I wrote my book Wild Heart,
yeah.
because that was my story, and I really wrote it because, so can people can see that whatever happens, it's your journey, and you go, like you call it like the rite de passage, or you call it the
Mhm.
dark night of the soul. So if you go through the dark night of the soul, and somebody can help you with it, can find consolidation. It's not, you don't have to do it on yourself, on your own.
Yeah.
And you can, but the storytelling is and that's, with the books, what I say with the it's like a start that makes you awake of that you're more than only your ego or your personality.
Yeah.
And like persona, the personality persona means mask. So, where can we just
Hmm.
take
A
off
lot of
our
people
mask?
around wearing masks.
Yes,
And that is also what we, because we're in this whole situation of, how can we support people to
yeah,
bring these stories out, because a lot of people have all these other gifts, but really knowing their story, owning their story, to really reclaim that story, that for many is almost impossible, because it's you need to dive deep
Yes.
inside, not look around you and what you have accomplished. It is about that deep dive and getting that story out. And I love what you mentioned also in the beginning, that's the longest journey you will ever travel is the one that the 30%, centimeters between your brain and your heart.
Yeah.
But
That's
that is where you're going to find it.
yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah,
Lifelong, so you
yeah,
can take your whole life to become truly who you are,
yeah,
So,
yeah. So now you have a couple of grandchildren, five?
I have 5 grandchildren. Yeah,
Yes.
very, very happy with them. And of course, I have 4 children.
Yes. Oh, it's such a joy. I have
It's such
only
a joy.
four, but I just love it. It's so you have your grandchildren. You cannot explain them yet, about all the techniques that you did and all the wisdom you have acquired, because that is at a higher level for them. What do you share with them? What made it that grandma is the person she
Yes,
is now
yes,
today?
yes. I think that it's not alone in like talking, but question them, but also like being a free grandmother. So play with them, play into the water while their parents say don't do that. So I'm just like what I really want to learn with them is be free and so and I think because I did my work, the children don't have to carry all the burden of my family, so
Yeah.
they are free. And now one of my daughters is also working with family constellations. She's a
Oh, wow.
psychologist. So what we and I see that all my children, because I went this way, they learn everything that they learn from me, it goes to the grandchildren. So and being with them and playing with them, I think is
Mhm.
my role.
Mhm.
Being this crazy grandmother who's playing and also have fun with them and read a book with them and see what is the story about it. And sometimes I lay in bed with my oldest grandson. He's like becoming 8, and then we
Mhm.
just go and lay in bed, and then I ask him all kind of questions. Oh, and it is amazing. They are so wise. They are
Perceptive.
they
Yeah.
right, and what you see is that they live in the here and now, and they learn, and yeah, it's beautiful. I just my youngest grandson is like for 6 weeks old, and he's like looking at to everything in the and trying to talk, and it's so much fun. It's so much fun.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's
I
something
give
we.
them my love. That's what I give them. I
Mhm.
will give them all my love I can.
Yeah, that is very important. And you hope that they can stay like this, forever and ever, not just small, but to be so perceptive and to be so
Yeah,
courageous, to explore, to be open to whatever is going
that's
on. That is so wonderful. Yeah, yeah.
I hope that I can help them staying open, and staying yeah awake for everything there is, and yeah. So but I really enjoy it. I really have a lot of fun.
Yeah, yeah, I think so.
You have
So
grandchildren.
if you look at your message, it is about being free, be
Yeah,
yourself.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, to be your truly self, and that what I mean by that is being connected with your soul, and your soul. How to what how do you know about soul is being in contact with your feelings, being in contact with your body, being in contact with your intuitive knowledge, being
Hmm.
in contact with the images that are, you always have an idea before you go and do something. So being in contact with your creative mind, with your ideas and not stop with an idea that you think, oh, I can't do it. No, just do it. And even when it's not going well, you learn from it. So it's
Hmm.
always like, don't resist because you think, oh, it's too much, I can't do this or whatever. Just go. That's what I also did with my boat. I wasn't planning on buying a boat in Amsterdam, And then, I was living in a part of with nature and lakes in Holland. And so because of my son bought a boat. And then he talked to somebody who had this boat, who wanted to sell this boat. So my son said, can you come Friday, because we are going to make a float in Amsterdam for the fun. I said, oh, I've never seen such a boat. And then I saw this boat and I thought, oh my goodness,
Yes, this is it.
this is it. So
Yeah.
it was intuitive, just like boom. And I'm so happy that I live here right now. So it's like listening. So the soul whispers, so in the quiet moments, it gets in, before you go to sleep, or just after you wake up, when you're quiet, that's why they say, think one night over your problem. And then, oh yeah,
Yeah. The answer will come.
the
Yeah.
answer will come.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
Yeah. But you have to listen. That's very
yeah,
important.
that's the thing.
Yes. Okay. Yes. I think we recovered a lot. Yes, looking back on your lives during, what key lessons have you learned? I think we have quite covered that, but is there anything that you feel like we did not mention, you did not mention? And uh, yeah, how important is it for the elders to share all those messages, all
Yeah,
those
yeah,
stories?
I think it's very important. And I think so. I want to thank you, Ingrid, because you make the platform. Because that's the thing. Where can you go to talk about your story, and so it gets wider into the world. I
Yeah.
can talk with my friends, or I can talk with my clients, but it keeps it small. And there's a lot of knowledge I would, I love to share, and it can become bigger in the world. So thank you so much. And is there something I didn't tell? Well, I think,
Probably,
yeah,
yes.
probably. Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's well, if you talk about the storytelling, I think it's a primate medicine. It's a medicine. Yeah, it's
Mhm.
medicine. And because you can read your own story throughout the story of the other. And if you don't, and that's what I think is really important. If you don't know that you, for example, in the midlife, that's I always there are a lot of people that compare it with the caterpillar that is taking out your jacket is getting too tight. You
Yeah.
have everything, but you don't, you think, and then you feel the emptiness. But what's neat, you have to go into this cocoon, and that's important before you become the butterfly. So you have to wait and transform in the cocoon. So you can't just take a knife and go through the cocoon and be the butterfly, but you have to get stronger and stronger, to get your wings strengthened
Yeah.
before you can become this butterfly. But in this transformation moment, you have to go within. That's what the cocoon is for. You have to go within. What is happening with me? What are my patterns? Why don't I, why do I have a burnout? Why am I depressed? Why does it cost so much to, if I lose somebody, that I can't go on? What is all behind there? What is all within there?
Yeah, yeah. And in this world, and that is really something I believe very strongly, is we live in a very chaotic world.
That's right.
And, that is already, there's all these things coming from outside,
Yeah,
get
yeah,
hit constantly.
yes,
And there are so many people with mental health issues,
yes,
and
yes,
they have no idea how to get out of the situation that they're in.
yeah.
So it is important to share this.
Yeah,
Yes.
and I think, if you say that, that's really really right. And when you go and you become a whole, with this inner child is heard, and soul is always there, so you're not alone. We alone is so nice, is alone, but we are all one. It's the same word.
Hmm. Yeah.
So if you see that, if you become whole, everything that's happening around you is, you know, all your anxieties, all your insecurities, you can just be and stay, because you are one. You know that this is necessary, this chaos. We are in this. We probably choose for this to be in this part. But I really believe that it's somewhere it's going, and we are going to be loved. You know, I think that is what's happening.
Yeah, wonderful, wonderful. Yes, and we're not going to add more to it because there's already so much food for thought
Yeah,
for those who are listening. And I really, with the last words, I want to go back to what you mentioned in the beginning. Storytelling is an awakening.
yeah. Storytellers in a
It's
way.
very in depth and it is the wisdom of the heart. And that is something I really, really love and agree. So I want to thank you very much, Monique, for joining us today. And we already said we need to catch up soon,
Yeah,
the boat, because I
yeah.
haven't seen that one yet. So,
Yeah, you are really, really
and
welcome, my dear.
and
So,
there will be a lot to talk about. So thank you so much for now. You are a member of the Wize Move Society. So if people want to see you there
yeah,
as well, so people can join us.
yeah,
And really loved this conversation. So
yeah.
thank
I
you.
love you too, Ingrid. Thank you so much. Thank you
Thank
very
you.
much. Very thankful.
Thank you for joining us and listening to our podcast, Wisdom of the Elders Stories with a Message. I hope you enjoyed this story and were inspired. If you feel aligned with the podcast brought to you by the Wize Move Society, please follow us on Spotify. But of course, we would like to welcome you at our global online community, where you can share your wisdom in deep conversations with our members. But we also would like to hear your story and learn from it. All stories matter. We believe that our collective wisdom can bring change at many levels. In the next episode, we travel to a different part of the world, another elder, another story, another lesson carried across lifetime. Until then, share your story. Someone is waiting for it.